Alrighty, here we go. Episode 101 of the Odgies podcast. There he is, Harry Mays, Jason Martinez. No guest today. No Angelo Catani today. We can rerun it, Harry. Should we re-rack that?
I think we should re-rack that for a couple weeks, at least until football starts. What do you say?
I agree. We're violating one of your core rules of sports radio in summer today.
What's that?
That this is a time until football season. You should just take off. Play music.
No doubt. Yeah, just re-rack shows from the past, the best of.
A little Jerry Rafferty, Harry, some Baker Street.
No, but I mean, the Phillies until last night have been in like a free fall, and the whole city's panicked. And I get why. I mean, that's what we do here. But you're just waiting for football to start. Like, I didn't even watch the preseason game last Thursday night.
Yeah.
Because if there's, hardly any starters or no starters playing, why should I watch? What am I going to learn from that?
Yeah, I think the first preseason game is that one where you go, okay, look, they're wearing uniforms, they're in helmets, good,
right.
Okay, wake me up when it's the regular season.
I've seen enough. I've seen it enough.
And it doesn't take long to get to that I've seen it enough stage at all.
No, it doesn't. And, they play, tonight against New England. They've been practicing against the Patriots for the last couple of days. And, I'll probably peek in at tonight's game because we're getting closer. But then that final preseason game, is they only do 3 now, which is great. I can't wait till they get down to 1 or 2 because it's just it's god awful. But I'm in need of some meaningful football, whether it's college or pro. I just need it, and I need it right now. Inject it into my veins.
I can't give it to you right now, Harry, but I can give it to you in a week from today, which is when I think we'll get the first college football games, that Thursday night. And then we have a light card kind of in that, not this weekend, next weekend, a week and a half from now. And then the weekend after that, you have the full card. You have some good games in that first weekend, too.
Yeah, there's some decent ones. I mean, Temple plays
Clemson
at the end
playing
of the
somebody?
month. Well, yeah, I'm sure they are. Let me see here.
I think it's there's 2 top 10 teams that first week, if I recall.
There's always like a couple of decent games.
Yeah, it seems like it's always like ACC games that are where you're going to get something actually decent. Penn State's in West Virginia. Clemson's got Georgia, Harry. Jeez.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a noon game too on August 31st.
Right.
That's a great game. Number 1 could go down in week 1 at home.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, Clemson's not that
probably
good.
Not. Clemson's not what they were like 3 or 4 years ago.
No.
But yeah, Penn State, West Virginia, that's decent. I'll watch that.
Renewed rivalry again there, right?
Yeah.
They played against each other for years.
Yeah, you mentioned Clemson at Georgia. That might be in a neutral. Is that a neutral site game? Is that like
the Clemson Georgia game?
Yeah, sometimes
it's in Atlanta.
They play
it's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yeah.
Okay.
Miami plays Florida. Florida's not ranked, but it's still it's still Miami and Florida.
Yeah, not what it was, but I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to scroll through here. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of games, which is great. It's a lot of fun. Notre Dame, Texas A&M.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's a 7:30 game on ABC.
That's a good one.
Michigan's going to take on Fresno.
Yeah, Fresno.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's not so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll
have
watch
a full card, Har.
I'm so starved for football. I'll watch like any of those games.
And you know why? Because they all mean something. Like those games have meaning to them.
They do. Florida State, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech stinks, but I'll watch Florida State.
Yeah,
LSU plays USC on September 1st. That's a night game on ABC.
2 high-profile programs.
Yeah, Temple's going to get smoked by Oklahoma. They're like 42.5-point underdogs.
So I saw it at 41.
At Oklahoma.
Wow.
Yeah, at Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma cover the number, Har?
Oh, yeah, probably.
And as Mikey Miss would say, a rocking chair ride?
Yeah, that'll probably be something like 55-7.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We get a call from Mikey Miss on a new radio show that Temple may win that game outright, Har?
No. Nobody's calling with that. Nobody's calling with that. Yeah, how about that? Mikey Miss, he start officially this past Monday?
Monday he started back. He's doing the midday program, our old time slot. We
Right,
greased it up for him, Har.
Right, with Bill Colarulo.
Bill, is that how you say the name?
I think it's Colarulo. Yeah,
Colarulo, not Colarulo.
He's an attorney. He was an attorney by trade.
Oh, so you got 2 attorneys on this
Yeah.
show? Oh, jeez.
Yeah. 2 attorneys and a producer.
Oh my God! I feel bad for Ray Dunn's the producer. I feel bad for Ray having to make rulings from the bench, Harry,
that might
between
be a good
these 2
segment.
litigants.
That'd be a good segment right there.
See, this
There
is
you
what I
go.
do, Harry. Let me
Yeah.
let me get Mikey Miss on the horn.
Well, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of attorney Bill was. He does a nice job, though, Bill.
Yeah, he does.
Professional?
I had him on. I was on his YouTube show once, like
Oh,
last
really?
year, last season. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he pumps out a lot of clips and a lot of content. He's a motivated guy. I think he's very rational. He's not a hot taker, which automatically makes me like him more.
Right.
And perhaps he can balance out Mikey Miss.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it kind of, because I listened to some of his stuff, and very measured and very common sense kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it reminded me sort of like when I began, when I was trying to make the switch from my other life into the radio life.
Yeah.
And it was like you're trying so hard to get all your facts right, and get your information, and be the analyst. And it wasn't until my second program director, I believe he was our second, Greg Henson. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I mean, he's a lifelong radio guy. Like
Yep.
he's moved around the country 16 times, small markets, medium markets, big markets, PDs. He did a morning show. He did the morning show for a while at the old station on the AM.
Yeah, didn't he do it with Glenn Foley?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Glenn Foley and Meredith Marakovitz,
Yeah.
who has now been working for a long time
She's a
doing the
star.
Yankees games.
Yeah, the Yes Network.
But he told me something that really stuck with me. It didn't make sense to me at the time he told me, but shortly thereafter I figured out what he was talking about, and it totally changed my radio life. He said, less Costas, more Harry.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then I finally realized he wants me to be a personality more so than just some guy regurgitating sports stuff.
Yep.
And that's when it all kind of
Great
clicked.
advice.
Yeah, it was great advice. It's probably
Great
the
advice.
best advice I ever got from any of the PDs I ever worked for.
Yeah.
That was career changing to me.
But he wanted you to be authentic, not
he wanted me to be me.
imitating
Right.
guys that you like. Look,
Right.
our natural instinct when we start broadcasting, or anybody that starts a podcast, is to take elements of the guys you like to listen to and meld them, thinking, if I Frankenstein these together, it'll be something really cool.
Right.
But eventually you have to realize, you know what, I can't do that because it's not genuine. It's not authentic.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a character.
No.
I just wanted to be myself. It's a whole lot easier that way.
Well, you see the guys that are really good at it,
Yeah.
I think, have a really defined version of themselves. Like we had Angelo on our last episode.
Yeah.
He was a character on the air. It was an alter ego of his that he had developed so strongly that when the mic went on, he was that guy.
Right.
Now, off the air, he was not that guy. For you, it's different.
Yeah.
You are this guy on the podcast. You are this guy on the radio show. You are this guy at the bar. And you are this guy on the 10th hole of whatever golf course you're playing.
Right. Yeah,
Now, if you hit a bad shot, you might be a slightly angrier guy.
Yes. Slightly. Yes. But yeah, I mean, that really finally resonated with me at some point, and it was still early on in my, career. But I finally figured out what he was talking about, and I started to get comfortable with that whole idea.
Yeah.
Where I could just sort of just be me, except I'm talking into a microphone and, to everybody.
Yeah, but you have you just like everybody else has insecurities when we get in. Nobody's really going to like just me. Like
Right. Yeah.
That's why you
I gotta
try
be
and do
something
the other
more.
thing.
Yeah, I got to be something more than
Yeah.
me.
You go, okay, I got to take all these guys that I liked and what I
Right.
liked about them, and I got to mold that into something because nobody's going to just like me. Like you don't
Right.
go into you listen to like your old air checks or your old tapes of your shows, and you're like,
Which I
Jesus
never
Christ.
did.
Oh,
I
smart.
never did.
You go back and listen. You go, what? Why did I sound like that? Why was
Yeah.
I talking like that?
I know.
It's not
I know.
natural. It just takes reps.
Well, and plus, I was the update guy at first. Like my first gig there was being an update guy.
So did you have
I was doing shows in the Lehigh Valley, but once I got to Philly, I was sort of the news sports update guy.
Okay.
So going from that to show host is a big leap too.
Long form. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're doing just the cadence of an update guy.
Right.
Harry Mays here with your 10-10 update, brought to you, that whole thing.
You're trying to squeeze everything in, including a live read, into a 2-minute segment or whatever.
Yeah. 10 pounds of shit in 90 seconds is
right.
All right, why is the update so long?
Well, I mean,
I have 7 sponsors, dude.
Exactly. Yeah, those updates are garbage. They're nothing. You don't learn anything. It's just a means for reading a commercial.
Sponsor. Yeah.
That's really it.
It's like I listen to Q102 quite a bit because the girls are in the car and they like, the pop music or whatever, top 40.
Right.
And they're like, oh, let's go to traffic right now. We go to so-and-so. She gives an update on like 2 roads and reads 4 sponsors.
Right.
I'm like, first of all, I don't need traffic. It's on my phone.
Right.
On my navigate, whatever. That's number one. And literally, we live in a huge metro market. You're giving me Roosevelt Boulevard and 95. Like, no shit, there's traffic there.
Yeah. There's always traffic there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're just saying, hey, there's slowing on the Conshohocken curve. No shit, there's always slowing. You're just doing this to read a sponsor.
It's like doing weather in San Diego. It's the same every day.
Yeah. It's going to be 85 and sunny.
Yeah.
Great point.
Yeah.
What's Joey B say? Merton Mays, an authentic and genuine as you get.
Yeah.
That's why we tune in. Just 2 guys shooting the shit. Yeah,
well, that's what Tommy Conwell says to you, right?
Yeah. Yep. I love Tommy. We're going to get him on. He was a huge consideration for our 100th episode guest, but he banged up his hand.
Is that what happened?
And I am not having Tommy on unless he can play the guitar.
Right. So which hand was it? The pick hand or the?
I think it was the other one.
Chord hand. Oh
yeah,
boy.
You can get by with a pick hand, Harry.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't get by with the hand that does all the magic.
Yeah, but I've heard real guitar players, and Tommy's one, say that you determine how good a guy is by how he is with the pick hand.
Yeah, it's an underrated element of it.
Yeah.
He said he goes, he'd sent me a note and said, you and Harry are the best. I'd love to play something for your 100th.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, but I fucked up my arm tripping over my guitar cord at the end of a show in Dewey Beach.
So he fell on stage?
That wouldn't be the first time, I assume, Harry. Guys on stage all the time.
Yeah.
But no, you and I have talked. We're gonna do an episode probably from your domicile. And we're going to get Tommy in there. We're going to build the studio up with multiple cameras and stuff and have audio go through a board. And we're going to have Tommy come in and play a couple of songs. And I think we're going to invite our other good friend of the program, David Usikinen, in.
Well, he lives
to
right
backline
up the
it.
Yeah,
exactly.
He lives right 10 doors up the street.
Yeah, we'll load up a mini kit.
Right.
If he's not on tour in Europe, Harry, because he's always touring again. I mean,
I know.
David's so great, too. Like, I love these local musicians we have. They're so damn good. So underrated, like Tommy and David and the Hooters and the Rumblers who get together from time to time. Like we are blessed with some really good musicians in this area.
Yeah, we are, no doubt about it. Have you been? I know you were at the Shore. How did that go?
It was great, except for the hurricane, the tropical storm that came up
Debbie?
the coast.
Yeah.
I prefer Debbie's too nice, Harry. I think she was more like a Deborah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Deborah.
Well, yeah, it ruined the whole week of golf too.
Yeah, it just soaked us out, and the wind. It was pretty wild. I mean, they were calling for tornadoes, and but yeah, no, it was a great week. We were down there. I stayed at Mikey Miss's house down in Strathmere.
Right. Oh yeah.
Which I gotta say,
Mikey
Miss,
right near the Deauville Inn,
right across the street. My wife calls it the Deauville. It drives me fucking nuts.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, it's the Deauville. She mispronounces everything.
Deauville.
She's like, do you want to go to the Deauville for? It's the Deauville. Like, it drove me freaking bananas, and she'd fuck it up every time. And she's not even trying to annoy me. She just does.
She doesn't have to try to annoy you.
No, she just does. And I'm like, Jesus, can you just call it what it is?
Yeah.
We were down. We had a great time.
Me and my buddies were on my one buddy's boat, and we docked there at the Deauville.
Yeah, beautiful out there.
And I texted Mikey Miss, and he came down and joined us at the bar.
Oh, he sauntered over?
This was years ago.
Yeah.
A long time ago. Yeah.
I mean, he is obviously very walking distance to the
Oh yeah,
Deauville.
yeah.
I hadn't been to this house in a while. Did some nice upgrades. Place was great. Beach was great. Water
That
was
Stratosphere's
cold.
nice, isn't it?
Awesome.
It's not
Not overcrowded.
commercialized. It's
Nope.
not overcrowded. There's not a whole lot of houses. It's not overdone in any way. It's kind of like it kind of reminds me of being on the Outer Banks.
You're right,
You know what I
Harry. It's more of like a neighborhood feel than
Right.
being packed in at like Ocean City or something like, or
Right.
another beach town. It was very chill. It's a quiet end of town for the most part,
Yeah.
and it's just very chill up there. And
is.
the water was 58 degrees.
Freezing.
I was like, "What is going on here?"
Wow. Major
Usually in August,
shrinkage.
you're like 70, 72, 75 degrees. It was
Major
freezing.
shrinkage.
Oh,
Wow.
my balls were in my throat.
Oh my god.
Jesus. Usually that doesn't bother me.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
like I was getting in, I was like, this is not getting tolerable.
Yeah. That's
It
too
was
cold.
really cold.
Yeah,
really
that's too cold.
Yeah.
I would have had to go in a wetsuit.
Yeah, like a spring
Yeah.
suit, Har?
Yeah.
With the short sleeves and short pants? Or are you going full
No.
wetsuit?
I need full like long sleeves.
Oh,
Zipped up to here.
yeah.
And I could do the shorts, but I'd need the top at least to be full.
Well, that they're a bitch to get on and off, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they are.
Getting that
They
thing
are.
off,
Uh-huh.
it's like peeling wax off the counter, man. It's not easy.
Right.
Unbelievable. So yeah, we were down there. We had a great time down there, but we're getting to that point now, Harry, where we're the 15th of August. This is like officially kind of the midpoint of the month, where you start seeing it cool down at night a little bit.
Yeah, it's in the high 50s, low 60s
Yeah.
now at night. Because I was talking to our assistant superintendent just the other day, and I was like, "We getting down into the 50s yet at night?" He goes, "We were at 59 the other night." So
Yeah.
they love that.
Yeah, we dipped into the 58 I saw here. I think it was on Tuesday night, which I love.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite day of the year, Harry, is the first night it goes down into the 40s.
Oh, jeez.
That's my line of demarcation. That's when I know we're getting close to the good weather.
The good weather.
The
Yeah.
good weather, yes.
Okay.
I was talking to one of the guys that I sim race with that lives down in San Antonio, and I'm always like, "What's the weather like down?" And it's just miserably hot down there. He's like, it was like 9:30 at night. He's like, "Oh, it's 102 right now with like 89% humidity." I go, if my weather.com app read that was going to be my weather tomorrow, I'd have a sale sign on my house by noon. I don't know how these people live in that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be so miserable.
Yeah, that's extreme the other way. That's a little too much.
That's too much, right?
Yeah, that's a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'm
mean,
looking forward to it.
I would prefer to like live the summers like up in Wisconsin, and then the winters down in like Florida or Arizona, like that. That's the way I should be existing.
Yeah,
Really.
I could see you as a South Carolina man.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, like outside of Charleston.
The
It's
low
a nice
country.
area.
It's
Yeah,
called the Low Country.
yeah. Now, I was down in Charleston for a hockey tournament, Harry, with my son when I was coaching
Yeah.
still, and there was one problem with Charleston.
What's that?
It had a smell because there is a cardboard factory, a paper
Oh, yeah.
mill.
Yeah, paper mills stink.
It was, though, Harry, when the wind blew a certain way,
Yeah,
it was like in your throat.
Well, that's way when I lived in Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. There was also a paper mill just south of Wilmington, like right off Route 17.
Yeah.
And you drive by it, like, because I was, in sales back then, so I'd have to take that route. It stunk to high heaven. Yeah, it's bad.
Really bad. It was
Yeah.
the only issue I had with the Charleston area, which other than that beautiful area, and the old Victorian houses and all that stuff, but that paper mill, oh man, that was
Yeah.
that would prevent me from living there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think you get used to that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you do. I did when I was in Wrightsville.
Kevin said the old lady must not have liked that when I went into the water and had the shrinkage.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Kidding,
just
the old
stands a
lady.
moment. Yeah.
You think the old lady cares?
No, she doesn't care.
She's got plenty of other things to worry about. Yeah, Brian says there was a paper mill in the Brandywine in Upper Euclid Township.
Is that how you
Smelled like
pronounce that?
Euclid, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
By Downingtown and Chester
Yeah.
Springs, yeah.
Yeah.
Upper Euclid. And
Yeah.
Brian says, "What up?" Yeah, little Jose from Norristown.
Yeah, but his was WHADDUP.
Yeah, that's what it said on the
What up?
soundboard.
Yeah.
What up? What up, Maze?
Yeah.
What up, Ellis? What up, Eunices? Did you get into the Olympics at all, Harry?
Well, I watched the golf, of course, and that the final day ended up being terrific.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched a couple of other events. I think I saw the men's 100 meters. I saw Sha'Carri Richardson run.
I saw that one. That was a great one.
Yeah, I like her. And what else did I watch? I didn't watch any of the basketball. I had no interest. No.
Did you watch any of the female pole vaulting, Harry?
I did not.
Dude.
What, you talking about the girl from Poland?
No, Norway.
Oh, Norway. Because Poland had a lot of smoke shows on their Olympic team.
You know who else did?
What?
The Ukraines.
Well, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Those women from the Ukraine are unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up this picture of the Norwegian pole vaulter.
Okay, because
let's get her up here on the program.
Most of the Russian porn girls are from the Ukraine.
Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of them are. Yeah.
Let's see here. Her name's Embla Matilda Nierve.
Embla.
Here we go. Okay. It's coming up. Let me go back here. I mean, what is going on? There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking rocket, Harry.
Yeah.
I don't care if she can get over that pole or not.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, if you're not watching the Olympics, I may have DVR'd that to go back and watch the pole vaulting, Harry.
Is that right? Yeah. Well, how about the male pole vaulter from France that got his bag?
He didn't get his bag, Harry. He got his root. That guy would have had a better chance of winning the pole vault had he not used the pole.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean that guy. He won at life. That guy. Forget about the medals. Who cares?
Jesus Christ! His junk was fucking knocking the bar over.
I think that guy just opened up an OnlyFans immediately after the Olympics.
He did. Dude, if you're going to lose a gold medal, there's no better way to lose it than having your root knock over the pole. Did you see the one guy trying to do the high jump and he just jumped under the thing?
No.
Oh, so great. There was this girl, I would say woman, but she's young. She was from the Netherlands, and she was a runner. And she was doing like the 4x400, and she was part of the relay. She was like way back in the gold medal thing. She was the anchor in the 4x400.
Right.
And she was way back. This little white girl. When she talked, she sounded like Mickey Mouse. Her name was Femke Ball. But she was so fucking fast.
No, Femke Ball. She's real tall and skinny.
Yes.
Yeah,
white girl.
She's incredible.
Oh, my God. Harry, she made up like 16 lengths.
Yeah, one of her strides is like 3 of mine.
It was insane. Yeah. She just blew by everybody. I'm like, what is going on?
She wasn't like hot. But she was like tall, lanky runner body. But she was amazing. But I remember she finished like maybe 3rd in one of these events and had to be consoled by her parents immediately after the race. They were like in the first row there. And
really?
Like, yeah, she was crying. That was one of the races where I think the American came in 1st and 2nd. But Femke Ball,
she was
she's
disgustingly fast.
Yeah.
I got into the swimming too.
You did.
Now, a prerequisite that helps you get into a certain, one of the competitions in the Olympics is dependent on who's calling the action and who the analyst for the action is.
Well, that would be Rowdy Gaines is the analyst, right?
For swimming.
Yeah, and
Dan Hicks was on the call.
Yeah, I'd rather have Dan Hicks doing swimming than golf.
Yeah. But Rowdy Gaines was so good.
Yeah, he's into it.
just like great knowledge and like I don't know shit about swimming. I get in the pool,
No.
I swim, I
Well,
try
why
not
would
to drown.
you?
Yeah, but this guy explaining like on this length, on this 50, but all this stuff, and his excitement got me so excited. Like I'm watching Ledecky,
Katie Ledecky.
yeah,
she doesn't
and-
lose.
unbelievable, right?
Yeah,
And watching, I watched like the 1500, and they did like 10 laps of this pool. I'm like,
Well, they're
how are they
50 meters.
not? Yeah,
Yeah,
50 meters per lap.
Each length is 50 meters.
I'm like, how the hell are they still going this fast?
Yeah.
It was insane.
So it's actually 30 lengths for the 1500, isn't it? Because two
Yeah.
lengths is 100. So it's
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was just blown away about. And then they get done, and they're not even breathing heavy.
I know. They're
In the pool.
amazing. Yeah, they're incredible.
It was unbelievable. I really got into. I was down at the shore too, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't have shit to do at night. I'm just watching the Olympics and chilling out, watching it in prime time. And I got to tell you what, one other element of the Olympics, and you see it every 2 years, but he's so impressive, and that's Mike Tirico.
Oh, yeah.
Harry,
He's
he
he's underutilized by NBC in my view.
He's unbelievable. He's so
Because he can do
good.
anything. He can do anything.
He's doing studio there,
Yeah.
and kind of taking you from site to site.
It's the
And
Costas role. That's what
Yep.
Bob Costas used to do for them. Yeah.
and Costas was great at it too.
He was great. Yeah, he was great.
But I'll tell you what, man, this Mike Tirico,
yeah.
he was unreal. I just thought he was so good,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of fun to watch. So
Let me tell you about Mike Tirico. We go back to talk about our radio days. I was doing the night show with Yana Cohn and Rob Ellis, right? The
Philly
Fanatics,
guys, right?
The Sports Fanatics.
Sports
show.
Fanatics,
Yeah. And I wanted to get Tirico on because he had done something or said something about one of the the Eagles or something. I forget why, but I got his phone number. And I remember calling him on my way in to do the show. It was a night show, so I'm coming in at like 4:30 for a 7 o'clock show. I'm on the Schuylkill, and I call this guy up. He doesn't know me from Adam, and he answers the phone. And I said, "Hey, Mike, I'm so and so, and in Philly, do a show from 7 to 10 at night every weeknight. Would love to get you on tonight or tomorrow night to talk about." Blah, blah. He said to me, he goes, "Harry, I'd love to do it, but I can't do it until tomorrow night." And he gave me the time. He said, "I can do it at 8 o'clock." Like, that's Mike Tirico. Like, he didn't owe me
regular
squat.
dude.
Yes. Some punk who just started out in radio in Philadelphia is
Yep.
calling him, who works for ESPN. He's like a big shot. And he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come on. I can do it tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Like almost apologetic that he couldn't come on that night,
Right.
but I
right.
can tomorrow.
Yeah. So I really appreciated that. So I always say good things about him.
Yeah,
But
I
he
mean,
is great.
He phenomenal. I think.
He is
I think
great.
he's just a good guy. I met him at one of the NHL things years ago as well.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. He can call anything.
He's good at golf too.
Yeah.
Actually,
He's just a great broadcaster, sports broadcaster.
Now, wasn't there something about him? Remember the book that came out about ESPN years ago, maybe 10 years ago, that it was kind of a tell-all kind of book about ESPN and had a lot of unflattering things to say about a lot of those big-name people?
Yeah.
Wasn't he part of that? Like there was some sort of like
He may have been.
harassment kind of stuff?
Yeah. I'm not
You
sure
know-
what it was specifically.
Yeah.
I don't recall, but yeah.
I don't either, but I know he was mentioned.
Yeah.
That must have been incredible up there during the heyday.
Look, there's some guys that when you call them, like to try and get them on, like Bob, I would always email Bob Costas or text
Yeah.
Bob, and he'd always reply, but he'd never come on.
Uh-huh.
Especially after you and somebody ran him at one point. I forget who it was.
It
Was
wasn't
you guys?
me.
It wasn't Digger, but somebody ran him at one point. He wouldn't come on anymore, but he'd always reply. I remember I got a hold of Mark Cuban's email.
Uh-huh.
Me or Nahagian did.
All right.
I got his email. You got to hit him up.
Yeah.
And Mark Cuban, I probably hit him 4 or 5 times over a 5-year period.
Yeah.
He would reply to the email every time.
Really?
Every time. He'd never come on.
Yeah.
He always had a reason why, but he would reply. That's right, John.
That's John
and Sean ran.
He's right. 91
Yes,
LSX has
thank
got
you.
it. I remember that now.
Yeah. Freaking
Yeah.
Johnny Marks and Brace. You can't
Yeah.
do that, man.
Yeah.
They poisoned the well on Bob Costas.
They did.
That is awesome that
Yeah.
LSXers remembers that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are dead
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Here we
Johnny
go.
Marks, see you, Bob.
See ya, Bob.
He was trying to promote a book or something,
Yeah.
and he zipped him.
So great.
We got to get to a break. I hate to do it to you, Digger.
Yeah, but that,
But there's some guys you would text. I remember when the Riley Cooper thing happened.
oh boy.
Right?
Yeah.
At the country concert. You all know he said the slur.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Higgy. He's like, "How do we get on? Talk about this." And he goes, "Why don't you get on John Rocker?" And for some reason, I go, "That's not a bad idea." And I emailed John Rocker, or I texted John Rocker. I got his number, and he said, "I'd rather have a root canal done while I'm getting a proctal than come on and talk about that."
Yeah,
But
I don't
thanks
blame
for
him.
the invite.
I don't blame him. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, so I can accentuate his biggest gaffe of his career.
Right. Wow.
That was classic. And then there was, who was the guy that you'd call or something, and he'd be like, he'd motherfuck you. God, there was somebody that used to do that. It was a big football guy.
Well, Tony Siragusa
Yeah, he was a
did
known asshole.
did that to the old boss.
Yeah.
He
So, how'd
threatened
you
it.
get my number?
He evidently called him at like 10 in the morning and woke him up. He's like, it's 10 in the morning, you know, like, oh, it's 10 a.m. and he woke up, answers the phone, and goes, "I'm going to hunt you down and cut your dick off." That's what Siragusa told the old boss. How
that's
classic!
great.
And how classic when he's relating the story to me was awesome.
I mean, here's what he
He's
told
gonna
me.
Hunt me down and cut my dick off.
I think I'm faster. I don't think you can catch me, Tony. You fat fuck.
Oh, and he's no longer with us.
No, he passed away a couple of
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
One of the other guys that I used to get on with Mikey Miss all the time was Al Michaels, who I had a relationship with.
Yeah.
And Al was a guy I had to email. I wouldn't text Al.
Okay.
And I would set it up with him. And Al was... some of these guys are just old school. Like, you and I talked about this with Angelo, just the way, like, they communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in an old school way that is very respectful. And Al Michaels was the same way. I would book him and be like, all right, Al, we're going to do Thursday at 4 o'clock. And that hotline would ring 5 of 4 and be like, hey, it's Al Michaels. I'm going to call back in 5 minutes. Just want to make sure I have the right number.
Right.
And then he would call back in 5 minutes at 4 o'clock, and he'd be like, Al Michaels reporting for duty.
Yeah.
And that's what he would say every time.
And the first time he did that, you probably thought he's not calling back in 5 minutes, right?
Exactly. Like, I'm sweating it, right? When you book a guest, you don't know how reliable they are. And this is a big guest. Like, we're promoting the shit out of it. And he comes on, I mean, and it's just unbelievable. I remember when Ed Snyder died.
Mr. Snyder.
Mr. Snyder passed away, and I was working with Mike still at the time. I think it was 2015, if I recall. And I called Wayne Gretzky. I had Gretz's number. I called him, and he answered the phone. He was in the car, and he's like, I can do it in 15 minutes, but I can only stay on for like 5 minutes. I'm on my way to like some golf thing or something like that. So I'm like, all right. So he goes, call me back. So I call him back, and I'm thinking he's not going to answer the fucking phone.
No, he did.
But he loved Mr. Snyder.
Yeah.
So he answered the phone, and I put him on with Mike, and he was on for a half hour.
Yeah. He'd do a minimum of a half hour with me and Tony. We had him on several times. He was great. He never
Great talk. Harry,
He never
as
got off
great
the
of-
phone.
As great of a player, once you got him going and he felt comfortable,
Yeah.
you're like, geez, this guy's fantastic.
Yeah, he is.
And he was great with Mike. Mike's not
Yeah.
a hockey man, even though maybe you think so, but he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I remember so many guest booking with Mike. I'd book him, and then the interview would be over, and I'd say to Mike, I go, well, there's another one. He go, what do you mean? I go, another one on the list that I can't ever
Put him
call
on the
again.
list. I can never call him again.
Yeah, my number's been blocked by that guy.
Oh, boy.
My biggest coup from a guest standpoint, Harry, was when I got Mike to challenge Barkley that if there was something that was going on, it was maybe the Sixers would win a game, and that as long as the losing streak would go on, Barkley would have to call every day until the Sixers won a game. So he was on every day for like 9 days straight.
Wow.
It was the greatest bet. I said, Mike, just challenge him. Just say, Charles, if you think they're going to win a game soon, just commit that you're going to come on the show every day until they win. And they didn't win for another 9 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, Here, 91 LSXer says Lisa Ann went with you two would have been peak middays. Well, she did.
Yeah,
and then Harry quit.
Yeah.
You
and I quit
a couple weeks later.
Right, when I quit, Lisa Ann quit.
Yes.
That was the end of it.
She was like, I am not going on with Jason, and certainly not with Anthony.
No.
She was our fantasy football girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
She
sure
still follows me, Harry. He wasn't there at that point.
Oh, he wasn't?
He was already gone. It was Eric Johnson, EJ.
So EJ.
Yeah, I don't even think we had a boss at that time, Harry. I think I was the acting PD at the time.
Were you?
Which is probably the gloriest of days at the Fanatic when I was the acting PD and you and I were doing the show together on Mondays with Seth Joyner.
Right. Oh, man. Yeah. That was tough.
No, it was a tough putt every day.
Yes.
In 1994.
God.
Right?
We forgot to read the sponsor during the Angelo episode. How the hell we do that?
I don't know, but that was I just sent that Angelo episode to a guy that I used to work with at WIP, a former program director who I spoke to this morning. Just sent that episode to me. He goes, how was he? And I said, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I said, there's nothing Angelo likes talking about more than Angelo.
Yeah.
But I said he was incredibly vulnerable.
He was great.
I thought he was fantastic. If you want to go back and check that out, just go back to episode 100. But let's tell the people about Fudge Kitchen. I did visit the Fudge Kitchen on the Ocean City Boardwalk. I took my daughter and her friend to the water slides at 7th Street, and I walked up to the boardwalk to get a slice of Manco and walked right by the Fudge Kitchen.
Well, did you go in?
I did not. But the old lady did pick up some Fudge Kitchen for the house and housed it.
Hold on a second.
There was a big line. It was the middle of the day.
You did not go in?
No.
At least say you went in.
I was in there. It was great.
Is this your first rodeo?
Yeah. In a lot of ways, yeah, Harry. Let's tell the people about Fudge Kitchen.
Oh, God. The original Fudge Kitchen, official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Odgies podcast. Yes, even though Jason walked right by, but it's a staple of the Jersey Shore. 6 locations, Cape May, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and Ocean City. They make all their fudge and treats right in the store, which guarantees a delicious product. Tell them we sent you. Stop by and tell them that Jason sent you. But if you're not able to get there,
after he was there at Absentia.
Right. After his wife went in. Yeah. But if you're not able to visit in person, not a problem. They'll ship it right to you all across the country. Just go on their website, fudgekitchens.com.
Colin says, Lisa Ann, the lightning round, Nooner with Egan, riled up. All that was great radio. Yeah. I don't know about all that.
Yeah. It's all gone.
Egan doing the Nooner was like...
it was classic.
It was... preparation was just...
I know. Well, that's the point. That was the whole point.
He tried and shoehorn in 9 different sound bites into what he was saying.
I know.
He'd fuck it all up.
I know. It was great.
Oh, Jesus.
He was one of the most consistent operators at that station.
Yeah.
You always knew he was going to screw something up.
Consistently shit.
He never disappointed.
And when you would walk in the morning, you'd be like, can you pull this up? I'm not ready for you.
Yeah.
Big box of Apple Jacks sitting there.
Yeah, he drove me to work a few times when I was
did he?
Messed up with the end. Yeah.
What was it like driving with that little guy?
Hilarious.
What a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Well, when I couldn't pick you up, Harry, and load the bag in the back of the scooter, he had to pick you up?
Yep.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable.
Oh, man.
So Eagles tonight?
Yeah, Eagles tonight. I have to watch a little bit of that. And but I can't watch anything past the first quarter in a preseason game.
Yeah, that's the line of demarcation, yeah.
But remember back when we were doing a show in early June before the Phillies went to London? And I brought up the fact that I don't need any of this expanding the game bullshit. I don't need the Eagles and Packers playing in Brazil. But all these owners, they can't print enough money. So it's all about greed. Forget the teams and the organizations that are going through this. You're screwing them basically because it's taking them out of your routine, and to expand the brand
for the international dollar,
right? And I was worried about it with the Phillies. I just said, these guys are creatures of habit. This is going to kind of screw up their routine. I just hope it doesn't screw up the season. Now, I'm not saying it screwed up the season because the season is still fine. But since they went there, they're like 25-30.
Yeah, they're under 500.
5 games below 500. Pretty bizarre.
It's
like
concerning.
The All-Star break. Since the All-Star break, they've been 8-16, I think. They were actually 17-14 from London to the All-Star break. So I can't say that London really screwed them up. But I don't know.
You got to think that there's it didn't help.
Nah, it didn't help. The All-Star break and the injuries, they've had injuries to 4 or 5 key guys during this period of time. So I'm not freaking out about it. I think some people are.
Ultimately, it may not be a bad thing that they're struggling now.
Right.
Because you didn't want them to be just a wagon the entire season and then at the end struggle and not be able to get the nose pulled back up in time for the playoffs. This is time to struggle now and recalibrate and get back to playing. Look, they were playing like, what, 750 winning percentage baseball?
Yeah, now they're down to 583, I think.
Yeah.
So they're 20 games over 500. And they've got like the 4th best record, I think, because Cleveland and the Yankees and the Dodgers, I think, have surpassed them. But some of those teams have played 1 or 2 more games than the Phillies. So it's no big deal. But
no. They got to straighten it out, though.
They've still got 7 games against both the Mets and the Braves to play.
What are they, 6 games up on the Braves right now?
Yeah, something like that. But they got 7 to play, home and away. I think they got 4 against the Braves at home and 3 on the road, I think. And I think it's the opposite for the Mets. They've gone 5-1 against the Dodgers. The Dodgers. So that's good.
Wow.
The Yankees paced
Yeah, I think they're
going
to be fine.
Games. I do too. But their pitching, their starting pitching is not what it was for the
think
first
about
2
how good
and
it
a
was
half
in the beginning
months.
with Ranger and
he's hurt
Wheeler.
now.
Yeah. And Nola. I mean, it's just it wasn't sustainable. That's why baseball's such a long year. You just can't get caught up in a team. It's why like when Joe Giglio went on the radio and said it's the best Phillies team ever. Like settle down, dude. They're 60 games in.
Yeah.
You got to stop. You cannot make those proclamations 40, 60 games into a fucking baseball season. You sound like an idiot.
You knew the stretch like this was coming.
It always does.
They're not going to win 114 games or whatever it is during the regular season. I forget what Seattle won a long, long time. I think they won 114. They were bounced in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's when Ken Griffey Jr. was there, and who else was on that team?
I forget. I don't know
Buhner?
if A-Rod was there. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
but I remember them just tearing up the regulars. It's like those teams in hockey that win the President's Trophy or whatever.
And they get shit canned in the playoffs.
Yeah, they lose in the first round.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Some teams are built for regular season success. Some are built for playoff success. I hope the Phillies are built for playoff success.
I don't know why the Marlins pitched to Schwarber last night in that situation, though. Bases loaded in that ballpark with a lead.
Stupid.
I mean, I looked at this guy. I said, "They're going to pitch to him? Are you going to walk him?" I'm like, "Yeah."
That's mitigating the damage.
I'd walk in 1 run because of what that guy can do in that ballpark. 3 pitches later, whatever it was, he's over the left center field fence. I'm like, "I told you."
Yep. You could have given up just 1.
Yep. Because then the Castellanos is hitting second. He'll come up and he'll swing at something out of the zone, or he'll ground out soft ground ball to second base, and he's done.
Yeah, you can get out of the inning without a lot of damage being done. But no, they pitch to him, and it ends up out of the park.
I know that's against the baseball rules. A lot of baseball people are probably up in arms at the thought of that. But, I mean, with Schwarber in that ballpark, bases loaded, I ain't pitching to him.
Stupid, yeah. you got to go with logic at some point.
Yeah.
And try and just mitigate the damage.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to get to, Harry, or we wrap it up there?
Yeah, there's a casting call, I guess is what you'd call it, down in South Jersey. I think it's on Tuesday. Goes on all day for the Happy Gilmore movie. And yours
Didn't we already have a Happy Gilmore movie, Harry?
Yeah. This is a second
sequel?
one. Yeah.
Oh.
And yours truly is going to try to be a part of it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to be an announcer, Harry?
No, it's like an extra, like for an extra role.
No, I think you need to be like a greenside reporter. Let's go down to the ninth green and Harry Mays, and you're down there going, what is going on back there?
No, but I'm going to go to the tryout. We'll see what it's all about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I could see you. Happy Gilmore's walking up to the tee, and you're like, you have got to get faster.
But I went on the website and filled out all the forms, and
who's doing the casting? Is that Heary Casting? Diane Heary? Her casting company?
That name does not sound familiar.
Okay, she does a lot of the casting in Philadelphia. Did a lot of voice work through them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should call the Cuz. He's tight with Sandler. Didn't he do something in Sandler's movie, that basketball movie?
Did he?
Yeah.
What was that? Rough Diamonds. What was that? He was a jeweler, right?
Yeah.
I watched the movie. It wasn't bad.
Machine there.
Yeah.
He used the whole thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, me.
How's that thing going?
What thing?
That he's doing.
Exactly. What thing?
Yeah, but I mean, like,
I don't know.
I mean, seriously.
I'm not watching that. Well, it's like I see him sit there and just, baldy.
It's basically the meat locker now. He's gotten his.
Which is exactly why I'm not watching.
Uncut Gems, yes, 91 LSX.
Yes.
That was the name of the movie.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett had a big role in that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
KG. I have a movie for you.
What's that?
I don't watch a lot of TV anymore, but I did watch 2 nights ago a movie on Netflix, which I would recommend. It's called Land of Bad. It's got Liam Hemsworth in it, Russell Crowe. Okay. Russell Crowe looks like he swallowed an air hose and parked at a buffet for about a month.
No, wait a second. I know of this movie. Yeah, Russell Crowe's role. I didn't. He's kind of like a stooge.
A little bit. He's like a drone pilot.
He works for the
he's a
government.
drone pilot, and he's providing tactical support for this mission where a bunch of Navy SEALs are going in. The movie was good though.
Yeah,
it's like 90 minutes. Gave me exactly what I wanted out of it.
Yeah,
no huge commitment.
Right.
I'll give you that recommendation.
I'm still going through Ted Lasso. We got about an episode or 2 to go.
I've never watched it.
No?
No.
It's actually pretty good. The first season, it was tremendous. It got worse since then. Like the first season, they'd never been able. Like the second season was not good. Third season is better, but it's not as good as the first season.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't know, Harry? I cleaned up the beard.
Yeah.
The old lady was like, enough with the. It looks like a fucking eagle's nest on your face.
Yeah, it did. You could still clean it up a little more.
Nah.
Okay. Yeah, No?
We're good. All right, that's episode 101. We'll be back maybe next week or the week after for 102. We'll get a little bit more regular as we get into the regular season and the college football season on the horizon as well. Everybody have a great couple of days. We'll talk to you next time on the Odd G's podcast.